Hansen, welcome into red zone. You're gonna see him like going over all the games. Now here's a guy that's gonna be in your ear. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, get the tequila out because they're gonna be doing shots in the booth soon. I'm hyped. So let's get into all these stories. Starts out in San Francisco with the 49ers, one of the most storied franchises, and it's gonna go three different bullet points with them. Brock Purdy, he's back faster than expected, and he's on track where he could start in week one. And they've been impressed with all of his project progress. And then Trey Lance has proven more accurate and comfortable this season. And then Sam Darnold has mostly played well, avoiding interceptions. So that's pretty good.
So the main headline I see there is the Trey Lance one. They're just trying to trade him. That's all they're saying. They're like, oh, he's been more accurate. Well, that's because he was very inaccurate in previous training camps. So that one I'm like, and then as far as Brock Purdy, that's good because that's probably the biggest question mark that the 49ers have. If all they're saying is true, that's great. That being said, if they don't want to rush him back, maybe they just throw Sam Darnold out there week one or two. They're a good enough team that they'll survive a loss in week one.
Yeah, this is a team that always starts slow in the regular season, I feel like. And I don't think seeding matters to them too much because they have a very good defense and running attack, and Kittle is a monster. And then another thing was San Francisco's defense is increasing blitz rate and has been the most evident change in training camp under the new defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes.
Well, that's dangerous for Nick Bosa. If you have a fantasy team where you have individual players, Nick Bosa is about to get some sacks.
Okay, so that's the 49ers camp. Like all that news, think Brock Purdy is a huge storyline. Like to see them blitzing a little bit more, but that's about wrapping it up there. And then to Minnesota, TJ Hawkinson has set out drills in recent days despite being suited up at nothing burger.
I don't care.
Who cares?
That doesn't matter.
And then could this be this year's Malcolm Rodriguez? Undrafted free agent linebacker Ivan Pace Jr. has taken some first team reps in Minnesota and garnered notice. The Cincinnati product is competing with second year pro Brian Osama for the starting job next to Jordan Hicks, and new defensive coordinator Brian Flores is looking for competition in his guys.
That's cool. I hope he plays out. I think he can definitely replace that second year guy. He was pretty below the pack last year. That's great though. Finding those undrafted players and then being able to step up, that's huge for a team like the Vikings.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it with the Vikings. Mostly just talking about other defensive players and bust that have struggled, but Vikings been pretty bad defensively the past few years. But this is something I warned about. I felt very justified last year with this take. Los Angeles Chargers quarterback J.C. Jackson, who's working his way back slowly from a ruptured patellar tendon from October, had setback last week in practice. It's the and is going to be sitting the remainder to avoid the pup list.
Yeah, so far this might be the worst contract that the Chargers have ever had. Like think about how big of a contract he got. I think it was 4 years, 70 million. Right now it's looking like one of their worst contracts in franchise history. Honestly.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of this contract at all. I know a lot of people were like, what do you mean? JC Jackson played great with the Patriots, but a lot of his interceptions were opportunistic and created by Devin McCourty. Did a great job there, but I'm like, we need to be cautious with defensive players leaving the New England Patriots system. Not for any disrespect to JC Jackson, but I just needed to see it. And felt like I was proven right last year that he wasn't the answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's been right so far.
And then that's pretty much it for the Chargers. And then this one says I found Chris Collinsworth words on Deshaun Watson during the Hall of Fame game eye-opening. And then he said it's going to be paramount on Watson to be patient. Collinsworth said during last night's broadcast, I'm not sure if the Cleveland Browns can make as bold of a jump as he probably would like to see. Spread offenses, let me take advantage of my ability to run and make plays all over the field. Do I see Cleveland doing that? Maybe, but that's a pretty big leap for them this year. So basically with Deshaun Watson, says he needs to be a little bit more patient. Doesn't necessarily see the Browns making that huge jump this year. What are your overall thoughts on Collinsworth thoughts? Kind of that breakdown of the Browns.
So he's a little bit more skeptical of Deshaun Watson from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's warranted. Last year, he held the ball more than any quarterback in his time when he was playing on the field. Doesn't have the same sharpness as he did prior to his suspension. That being said, I don't fully agree with him. I think that a year of practicing with his players, getting into rhythm, I think probably if it's not this year, I think like mid-season he should be more in form, and I think he should be better than he was.
Okay. That makes sense. And that's pretty much it with the Browns, just Deshaun Watson. And then this one is the Raiders. That Jimmy Garoppolo had 7 interceptions in 2 Las Vegas Las Vegas Raiders practices. Yikes.
Yeah, not surprised.
And then number 7 pick Tyree Wilson remains on Las Vegas non-football injury list. It's worth wondering if the defensive end will be ready to start the season. So bad news.
That's unfortunate.
And then cornerback Marcus Peters went from being a late signing by the Raiders to a unquestioned starter. I mean, yeah, they needed help there.
Yeah, I mean he is also like how many teams has he been on at this point? He's been playing since I think 2014.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then onto the Chiefs. Said the Kansas City Chiefs have an incredible combination of success, continuity, and competition. Their excellent linebacker crew has Willie Gay, Drew Tranquil vying for snaps. Their cornerback position has L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie emerging as core pieces. I believe those were the rookies they drafted last year.
Yep. Yep.
And then this one's about Sky Moore. And then I asked him who's most likely to lead wideouts in receptions. His response was Sky Moore. The 2022 second round pick could wind up taking Juju Smith-Schuster's old row. Great news.
That's massive news. And for fantasy players, we talked about our optimism about the wide receivers for the Chiefs last week. If he's the one that's going to be leading the league and leading the Chiefs in targets, that means he's going to get roughly about 100 targets.
Yeah.
And that's just not saying whether or not he's even open to. Like he could potentially see 110, 120 targets. So he's going to be a really good fantasy player. And right now he's going in like the 10th, 11th round. His sleeper pick stock just went way up.
Yeah. Shout out to him. And then Chiefs undrafted rookie running back Deneric Prince appears to be safe bet to make team, possibly cutting Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon's workload 1 year after Isaiah Pacheco was a camp sensation. So undrafted rookie running back comes in, could get the burden of Clyde Edwards-Helaire over to another team.
Yeah, I think of anybody who's going to get the chopping block, I think it's going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. More likely than not. I just see his role continue to diminish each and every year.
Yeah, I agree.
So he'll get cut most likely.
And then on to the Seahawks. Pete Carroll named second-year edge rusher Boy Maffey as the Seahawks' most improved player in camp. While I'm not sure if the Hawks have fixed the run defense, the pass rush could be spicy this year with Maffey, Nuwosu, Darryl Taylor, and blockbuster free agent pickup Tremont Jones. So Legion of Boom starting to pick up some speed again, especially with Tyreek Woolen.
I'm excited for it. They had a really great draft last year. They got some nice players. I think that they're going to be improved even more than last year.
Yeah, and then it says Seattle Seahawks does have some big name injury questions with Jamal Adams, Jordan Brooks, and Tyreek Woolen all coming off some injuries here. And then Kenneth Walker didn't last that long in camp and has a groin that's been hurting since last year.
Yeah, and then I heard their rookie Zach Charbonnet is also hurt. So
Yeah.
they're getting a little bit of the injury bug in training camp. Hopefully it doesn't carry into the regular season.
And then good news, though, Geno Smith is playing well. And
Good.
A lot of people were saying he's going to take a step back this year, but they added more talent. Kenneth Walker's going to emerge this year. He's only going to get more rapport with DK Metcalf, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba going to solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, I think I don't see how he could take a serious step back. It's not like he hasn't. He was good with them even before he was starting last year. Like when he stepped in for us, he was fine. So
Yeah.
I don't see a massive drop off. I think he'll be just as productive, if not more.
Yeah, and then that's pretty much it with the Seahawks. On to the Broncos. Dealing with some injury issues here. A lot of players on that list, but good news: Broncos running back Javonte Williams, surprisingly quick recovery from torn ACL, will be tested with some preseason work. All signs um, point to him suiting up for Week 1.
Good. That's awesome. He'll be. I'm excited to see him. He played great when he actually did play last year, so I hope that he can recover and be effective.
And then on to the Cardinals. New Arizona Cardinals coach Jonathan Gannon has his work cut out for him when it comes to stopping the pass. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
The team has the least experienced pass rushers, cornerbacks in the NFL. Oh, nice.
Recipe for disaster.
And they don't have receivers or a quarterback for a few weeks. Then at cornerback, it appears Marco Wilson on one side with a pair of late round picks from the last 2 drafts, Christian Matthew, Carol Clark, down there. Yeah, we pretty much said this. And then with Kyler Murray rehabbing a torn ACL, the Cardinals quarterback situation is exceedingly weird with 4 of them. Okay. Get ready for this list. Colt McCoy, Clay Tooney,
Who?
Jeff Driscoll, and our fan favorite and friend of the show, David Blau.
David Blau. Of course he's on the Cardinals. You said Jeff Driscoll too?
Yeah.
Yikes. I guess I'm rooting for Colt McCoy, but honestly, if imagine David Blau starts a game.
I want him to, I want David Blau to ball out. Hard knocks. Respect.
Yeah, sure. Let's see it.
And then on to the Ravens. Lamar Jackson has shown signs of frustration during a slow start to training camp, with the Baltimore Ravens defense mostly dominating. According to Jeff Zebrick of The Athletic, it hasn't helped that running back J.K. Dobbins and wideout Rashard Bateman haven't practiced. So Lamar is going up probably against the most talented defense in the NFL every day, without arguably his 2 best skill position players every day. I mean,
yeah,
life.
Yeah. If you want to call J.K. Dobbins his best receiver, sure. I've heard also some rumblings from this training camp that Zay Flowers has been really lights out. His new nickname is Juke Stick Flowers. Passes the name test. So
let's go.
I have a feeling by the end of the season, Zay Flowers will be his number 1.
Perfect. And then, that pretty much covers the Ravens there. Lamar, not loving practice so far. What else is new?
I mean, with that defense, I don't think many quarterbacks would.
Yeah. And then on to the Bears. The
okay.
Bears are young at a lot of positions, but their tight end room of Lewis, Cole Kmet, and Robert Tonyan has fully grown. They figure to be a big part of the offense. Kmet, incidentally, was the Bears' first draft pick since Tariq Cohen to earn a contract extension from the team.
Tariq Cohen?
Yeah.
Tariq Cohen hasn't played for them in like 5 years. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out
ridiculous.
to Cole Kmet, friend of the show. Huge fans over here.
Yeah.
Or I should say fan. But
yeah, when we talk about tight ends, we'll have Cole Kmet warmly regarded.
Perfect. And then the Detroit Lions, story you like, have lined up first-round pick Jack Campbell and veteran Alex Anzalone as starting linebackers in recent practices. The tight end Sam Laporta might be leading the league in rookie camp hype and has all but won the starting job.
Yeah.
Shout out
Sam Laporta. We'll be talking about him in about 20 minutes. Monster. I'm excited to see what he does.
And then Ben Johnson said he's earned the right to be in the first team huddle with Jared Goff. Shout out to him. And then, pretty much just like a bunch of other small things here, but that's pretty much a good idea of what's going on in training camp right now.